What's going on, family? So, my name is Larry Carroll Jr. I am a behavior strategist. I am a sex and tantric practitioner, otherwise known as the architect. So, what you've just joined is the 48 Laws of Dating. This is the first episode. You will see some other episodes come out, and you'll see two different people. You'll see me as the architect, and then you'll see my brother as the storyteller. We're going to be talking about the same things, just from different vantage points. So today, what I would like to talk to you about is why modern day dating seems to be so difficult. And that's the crux of why we built our platform and why we wrote our book. It's because everybody's saying that dating, there's pee and poop in the dating pool. And honestly, what I want to do is I want to help you help us, not just you but us, because we're also a part of this human experience, trying to be able to delineate and to create distinctions between what's truly happening in the dating pool. Most of us, what we do is we blame external factors. So we blame online dating, we blame dating apps, we blame masculinity, femininity, hypergamy, social economic status, money, everything. And in reality, all of those things play a factor. They are not the end all be all. The reality is that we internally haven't created developmental spaces for dating. And so that's something that we're going to talk about later. But what I want to touch on, something that my brother told me that I should touch on, is the idea of online dating experts and online dating, and how that's actually making a situation that is already difficult more difficult. We created a platform and wrote this book because we noticed that a lot of dating experts are creating polarizing content and giving out polarizing information. And I just posted something on our page saying, if your algorithm looks like this, it might be contributing to your thought process. And most of us think that as we're consuming information, that it's not really impacting us. But in reality, it is on a subconscious level. I was just having this conversation in our group, the 48 Collective, that on a subconscious level, you may think that you are an observer, but you're not being an observer. You are actually putting this into your nervous system and actually going to make a belief out of it. And so I see a lot of people saying that, on one side, men don't like women. On the other side, women don't like men. And I just think that that's not helping us get closer to the outcome. Men are the prize, women are the prize, arguments back and forth. That's not helping us get to what we want, and what we want is a relationship. So I feel like you can't be a champion for love while also polarizing people. And our platform was created to bring people together to have a dialogue and come to some level of understanding. We're not gonna understand everything that's going on in each sexes or in relationships, but at least we can come to some type of consensus and some type of idea. But as long as online is polarizing people and putting one people on one side of the aisle and putting people on the other side of the aisle, we're not going to come to a common ground, which the common ground is relationships. There's two ideas that I want us to be cautious about when we are in relationships: absolutes and overgeneralizations. Those are two things that I find that are becoming or taking root in the polarization of men and women. Absolutes: all men are like this, all women are this way. Those two things, and they're also those the statement is an absolute, but it's also an overgeneralization. And what I'd like for people to do when they are engaging in dating, in the dating game, is to utilize not overgeneralizations and absolutes, but bring it closer to home and bring it to self. The women that I've been dealing with have been acting like this. The men that you've been dealing with have been acting like this. The men that you've attracted all have these attributes. The women that I've attracted all have these attributes. And the reason why that's so important, because there's a billion people in this world, and there's no way that the small fraction of a fraction of a fraction sample size that you have is a telltale for every man in this world, every woman in this world, when there's billions of people in this world. Is it subject to your location, your proximity? It could be. Then take yourself outside of your city, outside your state, right? There's 50 states, right? You're bound to find somebody. And I think that when we use absolutes, I believe that that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you use an absolute, then what happens is you might start to create some confirmation bias. Idea out loud, you might find that your phone is actually going to show you the idea that you spoke about, right? That's a form of confirmation bias. It's like, for example, when your friend buys a new car, and they buy a new car, a certain color, you've never noticed this car on the road. But now that your friend bought this new car, or somebody that you know buys this new car, you see the car everywhere. That's a form of confirmation bias. So your brain now is aware of that thing and will look for everything associated to that. That's a survival mechanism. So we have to be able to get out of survival and into a position where we're thriving. And most relationships are going through survival and then trying to get to a point of thriving. And I think that's, again, I don't speak in absolute. I think that's a part of the process, but it shouldn't be the full process of what you're doing when you're dating. So family, this is just the start. This is just something I want to lay the foundation down for you. I want to give you a perspective so that we can shift the trajectory of dating. And the biggest thing that I want you to carry away from is staying away from absolutes and over generalizations. I do it as well, so I have to be more conscious and intentional about my language. But the reality is when you are saying all men are this way and all women are that way, you are creating a energy around you. Like, this is called the pseudoscience. A lot of people don't believe in this. And I was also in that same discussion I was having in the 48 Collective. We're talking about evidence-based. And the law of attraction, I think, is Rhonda Byrne. I think that's her name. That's the author of Laws of The Secret, which talks about, utilizes the idea of the law of attraction. The idea behind law of attraction, right? There's pseudoscience, right? She got a lot of flack, or critics were saying that her book really, it wasn't real, right? Because there was no science backing her perspective. Fast forward to 2026, we talk about manifestation, we talk about vibes, we talk about all those things that are derivative of the law of attraction, the secret. So even if it may not seem like it's evidence-based, right? If you believe that manifestation, you believe in some ways the law of attraction. So the more that we speak a certain type of way, right, the more that we think, we internalize that, and we actually create that outcome. Outcomes aren't made in one decision. Outcomes are made with day-to-day decisions, which eventually create an outcome. That's habits, right? That's the science, habits, patterns. And then the law of attraction is the pseudoscience, which people don't necessarily believe. But you can track the law of attraction. You could track people's success. You could track people's failures through the decisions that they make on a day-to-day basis. So we have to be careful with overgeneralizations, and we have to be careful with absolutes. Is it foolproof? Is it 100%? Of course not, because humans are multifaceted. But it's also a probability thing, where the more that you do this thing, the more you get better at that, the more that you find it, or the more that you push something else away. So if the overall outcome is to have a relationship, then I hope that we can start to shift the way we think in order to get in position to be able to find a successful relationship, family. So the architect is speaking to you. We're going to hit the next the episode so that we can start to lay a foundation to heighten the probability of success. See you soon.